Hello everyone and welcome back to Tomb Raider. We are finishing the game today. So we left off in the Sun Temple, trying to make our way back to Sam. Cause Sam's always in trouble. No, Sam, they have it in their head that Sam is, the Sun Queen's needed reincarnation spirit or whatever. So this is just very much a series of battles. Battle, puzzle, battle, puzzle, battle, puzzle is essentially what we're doing at this point. We are, working our way through all the Samurai Guard to get to where we need to be. We gotta try to climb up the mountain to where they're taking Sam and holding this ritual. It's a long way up, honestly. I say puzzles, it's not really puzzles so much as navigating the area, and I mean some of it is puzzles and some of it is just confusing navigation wise with like the craggy walls and the balancing and this, that, and the other thing. So yeah, this battle was, I was expecting this battle, even though it was lengthy and there were a lot of guys, I was expecting there to be way more guys. But this game is pretty nice with these larger battles of breaking them up into parts. Especially, like I said, we're on easy mode. So it's not... I still manage to die a ton. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, I still die all the time. But... we get through it. It's a process. And like I said in the previous video, like I end up relying on the rifle quite a bit. Like I do end up seeing that's value, especially in these larger battles. They want to throw shotgun shells at me like there's no tomorrow, and I know it's got, especially with my upgrades, like I don't have the extended storage on my shotgun. I don't think. I think I ended up going with other things. My priorities were not on my shotgun. But they keep throwing melee people at me. Melee is definitely my struggle. Like, I can handle like one or two. Like just one or two. I can't handle an entire like battalion of people shooting at me and some melee dudes up in my grill. Like I can't. This is not what I am good at. Give me stealth. I don't know how I got that killer headshot, by the way. Like that is just, I do just try to just blow shit up too. Like at some point I'm just like, they gave me a grenade launcher. I have not utilized this enough. They have bright red, clearly blow upable things around. Like clearly I should be blowing this shit up more. Is clearly what I need to be doing with my life, is blowing things up. Clearly. Like at some point it's just like, and then they were gonna give this dude to me and I was like no, and then he got blown off the bridge and I was like okay, sure, yeah, no problem. Okay. So yeah, I do decide to go with rifle expert. So like my shotgun is what I don't get. But that is the benefit to doing the like the relics and stuff, because you get experience for finding all of that, and completing the sets give you a ton of experience, and that's where you get the skill points from. And so definitely on like the harder levels, it's probably definitely worth the okay. I'll take the time to explore this a lot more thoroughly and go back and get all of the experience I can to level up as much as I can and get as much of the salvage as I can. So this room was probably one of the harder puzzles to figure out in terms of how to get to the last room of it. But like once it was figured out, like it's like, oh, and like there were a couple of points where I was like, I'm almost there, like I know I'm on the right track, like what am I missing, right? So like, okay, there's another wheel down here, so we turn that, we open the gate, and then we can pull the bell up, and then it's all sorts of nonsense. It's just all sorts of nonsense. And we pull up this cage, and it's like, alright. And like I knew we had to do that, right? So nice, easy little jumpable, scramblable platform. And I really was convinced at the start like that the rafters were the answer. Like I was like, no, it's definitely like up. Like we definitely have to do up. So then I was like, well, and I was really like, okay, well maybe I can jump there, like, because those wooden decals on the side looked like Lara could grab them and we could jump. Like, we've done harder jumps than that. So I was like, that doesn't seem like it's working. I was like, there's nothing else down there. So I'm like, am I missing something up here? Like this ledge all looks climbable. And it's like, what am I missing? Like I'm missing something. Like I can't grab the rafters, which I really thought, like, I was really convinced like up was the answer, and up was not the answer. Weird, I was wrong. Happens a lot in this game. So I was like, there's gotta be like something to grab onto or to move. And then I'm looking at this cage and I'm like, well, maybe I need to do more with this cage. Like maybe I can jump onto the cage some more or something. I'm like, I can't make that jump. So I was like, okay, well maybe there's a pole or a flag or something I can jump to, and none of that. So then I was like, I can lower that back again. I was like, it may or may not be useful, but maybe I can get it to where I need to be, right? So I was like, if I put this back up, close the doors, and then lower it back down, like, what does that do? I was like, does this help me at all? So we do that, and I'm like, okay, so now we can jump to it. And then I failed that, and I was like, I've gotta, I'm still just a little too far away. Like, it's not high enough for her to fall and grab it. So I'm like, oh, okay, there's gotta be another part to this. Like, that jump doesn't work. And I'm looking around, and I'm like, there's gotta be something else I'm missing, right? Like, gotta be. And it still moves. Like, it didn't lock into place like I had thought it would. I kind of thought that the spiky part would lock into the cage, and it didn't. So I was like, I can move it. And then as soon as I did this, Laura's like, I can make this jump. I know I can. And I'm like, Lara, not helpful. Like, helpful, but not helpful. Too little, too late there, sunshine. So this is kind of when Lara realizes, like, oh, like, we're transferring spirit. Like, this is her spirit that we're transferring, and she needs a new body to transfer into. Like, that's what we're about right now. Then we hit a campsite called Point of No Return. So if that's not telling you you're at the end, I don't know what will. So I was like, I gotta be able to upgrade something, right? Like 250, like I gotta be able to do something, which I've never used. Yeah, okay. So now we're in the Ziggurat Chasm, and it's a shit show. This turns into a shit show real fast. It's like, so then we get to figure out this nonsense, and this nonsense, ugh. Like I said, this turns into a shit show because it doesn't want to do what I want it to do, and Lara just decided to stop listening, or to listen too well. Either way, it's just what's happening. So I did notice while I was doing this, though, that this game, like, wherever you put that arrow, that's where you land. Like, that's where it's going. Like, it doesn't, the game's not coded to just, like, this is where it lands. Like, it is you hit this, you can hit anywhere on that target, and if you hit anywhere on that target, that's where it's going. So then it's, where do we go from here? It's like, oh, more craggy walls. Icy craggy walls this time. So how Lara hasn't frozen to death, I don't know. Then we've got a bell we gotta move. It's like, oh, pull it into the wind. Obviously, we've done this before. So like I said, some parts of this were super simple, and then we get to this part, and I was just like, because, like, I didn't really realize we could just connect it to the post. Like, I was thinking that bell was there to break something farther up. I wasn't thinking, like, oh, that bell is there to shimmy to, right? And then they do this, and, like, I knew where we had to go, like, but because it made it, like, I failed at that jump, like, enough times that I was like, all right, I'm missing something. Like, I know I'm not great at jumping or whatever, but, like, clearly I'm not that bad. Turns out I'm just that bad. Because I was like, okay, well, one of these platforms, like, it's clearly where I'm going, but how do I get to it? So it was just, this took me way, way, way too long. Like, this whole part was just, I was infuriated. Because I was just like, no, we're so close to the end. Like, you don't get to do this to me now. Like, this is not the point in this game. You get to do this to me. And I was convinced because I'd missed that jump. Like, that jump just did not look doable. And, like, I was trying to jump from different parts of the beam. I was trying to, like, get the beam going in different directions. Like, okay, the beam has to be at its highest point that I can physically get it to, and then I need to jump. And then I was like, okay, well, maybe I'm jumping from the wrong side. Maybe I gotta run back and forth, and that didn't work. And I'm like, I know I'm not completely wrong. Like, I know I have to go to the end of the beam and jump. And my struggle was, what side of the beam do I jump from? And there's like a sweet spot is ultimately the answer. There's just like this little spot where you hit, right? Like I had it right. Like my instincts were right on this. Like you pull yourself up, you walk the beam, and you jump. And I had mentioned in a previous video, like the mouse was pretty finicky about where Lara was jumping and where she was landing. So I was trying really hard to aim her in the right direction. Like I knew she needed to be aimed. And I'm back and forth on this freaking thing. And like I paused for a minute and I'm like, it has to be this. Like it has to be. Like there's no way there is anything other than this. And then we just failed on several things, with several different things. I was like, I'm like, I know what it is. And I was frustrated. I was frustrated to no end with this. And you could tell I was getting frustrated because I was getting so sloppy. It was so sloppy. And I'm like, oh, I just wanted it to be over. I was like, why can't I skip past this part? Like, why? Why is this happening to me right now? I'm like, I don't want to shoot this bell anymore. I did it once and like, I don't know what happened, but like, I went skedaddling past the beam at one point, and I'm just like, well, now I'm fucked. That was one of the times I fell into the ground, because like, we were straight like past the beam. It was insane. Yeah, no, this was one of this killed me on the inside, guys. I'm not gonna lie. I was just like, and my stubbornness had hit at this point, so I was just like, and then I landed it, and I was just like, are you fucking kidding me? Because it really was not that difficult. And like, I don't know what I did differently that last time that I didn't do it in the previous times. Like, I really have no idea what the difference is. Like, I can't tell you, oh yeah, you have to strategically count to 5 and then jump. And no, like, there was nothing. It was just me and my bullheadedness frustratedly, continually jump over and over and over and over and over again. Like, that's all that was happening at that point. Like, I don't even know. And then we get to this part. This part wasn't too bad. Like, I did know sort of what we had to do. I was like, okay, well, maybe we just boop. And then she jumped too far. And I'm like, how? How are you gonna jump too far when I couldn't get you to jump far enough for the past half hour? I don't think it was half hour. It felt like half an hour, though. I worked on that last jumping nonsense. She wouldn't. I think my mouse was just like, this was just all a run through, and like, it was a blessing and a curse to keep going, because like, I wanted to keep going and I wanted to figure it out, but I was also fairly frustrated with some parts of it, so like, a little sloppy. Then we get up here and it's like, are you freaking kidding me? Like, super cool, but are you freaking kidding me? Like, what? But this is it. Like, this is, and it's just taking everybody out, and this was very much, it wasn't like it was a lot of people. It was just a bunch of different pockets of people, right? So I was kind of like, and you get a grenade, and you get a grenade, and you get a grenade. And then the dude with the shield showed up, and I was like, I don't want to deal with Shield Man right now. I don't want Shield Man right now. Don't make me deal with Shield Man right now, please. Like, no, I don't want to do it. Let me do something else, please, and thank you. I don't wanna. And it was one of those things where I'm like, is that really all the people they're gonna currently send after me? And they did break it up into like different allotments. So like you took out the people you had to take out, and then you would do the cutscene thing, and then that would trigger the next set of people coming after you. Dude, the people Matthias has with him are like hardcore, like, good lord. They just keep throwing themselves at me. You would think after I killed enough of your buddies that you'd stop, but they don't stop. I mean, eventually they do, because, I mean, everybody on that island has to be dead by the time I'm done with it, right? Like, there can't possibly be anybody else left. Big yawn. Yeah, it's just taking everybody out. It's another battle. Fly. Where did it come from? What does it want? I don't want to fly. I think he glitched out. Like, I don't think he was supposed to be there. He was not standing on anything. But then we creep over here, and they gave me a big guy, and I didn't want it. I didn't want to play with him. I'm not gonna lie to you. I wanted nothing to do with this. I was like, no. And then, like, I realized his back had no armor. I'm like, how you all just gonna not give this dude back armor? Like, what? How y'all just gonna not give this dude back armor? That seems like an oversight. Like, you really not expecting him to get this shit? I was super frustrated, though, that, like, we hit him and we did it, and then we had to hit him more. Obviously, one swing's not gonna cut it. Obviously. Why would it? I really was hoping we could just be one and done, but we were not one and done. No. But he called in reinforcements, and at first I was like, okay, I'll take out the reinforcements, but then, like, another reinforcement came in, and I'm like, oh, I'm just gonna have to ignore them and kill him. Fantastic. So I did what I could. I was trying. I mean, it's probably good that it's almost identical to the battle that was on the Endurance, right? Like, he comes at you, he swings, he misses, like, you shift away. Like, he is very slow and lumbering because he's big, so you have time to shoot him in the back. He goes down, you run over, you hit him with your axe. Like, a little gruesome. A little gruesome at the end, but there we go. We did it. And then we get to the Matthias battle, and, like, it was just like, oh, like, now we fight Matthias. And this one was, I'm not gonna lie, I was annoyed because I was mashing E. Like, I was straight up, like, I was mashing E. Like, you could tell me to mash E all you wanted. I was mashing E. And it was just, I don't know if it wasn't registering. I don't know if it was just like, nah, you're not mashing hard enough, or you're mashing too hard, or what it was. But it was like, nah, son, nah. You gotta do your dues. You gotta die a few times. But eventually we do it, and, like, we succeed. And I promise I do. But as soon as we succeed, it's one of those things where it moves very fast, right? Like, we succeed, we do our E, we push him off, we grab both guns now, and we get to fire both guns. We get to do both, and then that's it. That's all we do. That's it for gameplay. Like, gameplay is done. It's now all cutscene. Like, we're done. Like, that's it. Yay! We get to go home now. But then Lara says, no, I'm not going home. I don't know what that meant. Like, she was looking at the journal, like, with all her notes and stuff, and I'm like, where do you think you're going? Oh yeah, it went black. I don't know why it went black. It went black. It shouldn't have gone black. Like, there was stuff going on. I don't know if it meant it was nighttime. I assumed it meant it was nighttime, and like that was the sunrise, right? So that's just what that was. But that's it. That's Tomb Raider. We did it. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye guys.